Welcome, Sydney. We are so happy you're here to do
Oh,
this
thank
session.
you. Thank you. So for those of you guys who don't know who I am, my name is Cydney Fullen, and I'm a real estate business coach with Watson Powers Coaching. I actually have spoken to your group in person. Gosh, when was that? That was
It
the
was last
spring,
November, last
was it? Yeah,
November at the
it was
AquaTurf.
last November. Gosh, so last November, and I've been
Oh, what
coaching.
happened?
I've been coaching Kelly and Ryan for about 10 years, working with Jody for almost that same length of time. And I still work with all of them and PJ. So I'm very, very familiar with your company. Now, Jody, do we have, is it all Connecticut or do we have some from Florida as well?
We have so far one from Florida.
All right, fantastic. All right. So, as when Jody asked me to talk, we were talking about business planning, and I know that we're going to be doing a more formal 2026 business planning here in a couple of weeks. So, I wanted to do a little bit of a different take on this. Who's
Can't
ever
hear it.
who raise your hand, and you can use the chat box or you can raise your little hand. Who has ever set a goal at the beginning of the year and didn't hit the goal? I think everybody should raise their hand, right? I mean, that's the most common thing I see in coaching is we start out with a great idea and somewhere along the line, the goal either goes out the window or we fall short. And so what I want to talk about today is just some ideas on what you should be thinking about when you go into your business planning. And I never do a PowerPoint, but I actually did one for you guys today. Isn't that exciting? So let's
Very
see if it
exciting.
works.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we'll see if it works and then we'll go from there. So can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
All right.
I could see it, but I can't hear it. I can't see it.
Oh, here we go.
Um, Click.
All right.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. So we're just going to start out and I want to start with one concept and the concept is that your business planning actually starts today. So the purpose of our talk today is to get you prepared mentally, physically, spiritually for 2026. And so for those of you that pay attention to what we're talking about today, you can start to execute 2026 early and use it as your launch pad. Now, I'm going to make a strong statement, and uh, you may or may not agree with this, but I really believe this. What you do right now is the first either check mark to hit your 2026 goals. But if you don't prepare properly, you're putting a big X on your 2026 goals. Here's a little known fact that by the mid-year, if you are not pretty darn close to hitting to be at 50% of your goal, there's a really good chance you're not going to hit the goal for the year. Now, as real estate agents, what do? Is we say, oh, I can catch up, I can catch up. And in some cases we can. But I want you guys to think about that for a second. It's if you're not where you need to be at mid-year, it gets harder and harder as the year goes on for you to hit that goal. So we're going to do everything today that we can to make sure that that does not happen. All right. So first of all, we're going to commit to what's left of this fourth quarter. Everybody, I want you to take out a calendar and realistically check off the days that you're not going to work. Now, I see PJ and Kelly are with us. So Kelly, here's what happens. Agents lie to themselves. They lie. Oh, there's Ryan too. Hi, Ryan. They lie to themselves about what they're going to do. You guys ever heard this one before? Oh, yeah, the week of Thanksgiving, man, I'm going to work. I'm going to work every day. As a matter of fact, on Friday, I'm coming in. Wrong. almost never happen unless you've got an out-of-town buyer or someone that absolutely has to see you. Most agents are not working the week between or that week of Thanksgiving. And then as you get closer to Christmas, you work less and less. So be honest. If you know that your kids get out of school on the 15th or the 20th, and you know that you're not working that last week of the year, then plan for it. If you know you have family coming in or that you've got holiday things that are happening, plan for it. Because what you've got to do is be realistic about the actual number of days you're going to generate business for now and 2026. And then you want to look at how many people am I going to contact every day? How many hours am I willing to invest in my business right now to pay off in 2026? How many listings you want to take between now and the end of the year? How many buyers? How many closed deals? And I'll give you guys a top producer tip. If you kind of already know what your goal is going to be for next year, future pace that. And let's say that your goal is to do, 24 deals next year. So 24 deals means that by the end of the first quarter, you should do 6 deals, right? In the first 3 months. And you guys live where it's pretty, for most of you, except for our Florida people, you don't know how cold it's going to be in January, February, March, do you? So you have to plan now for the things that you can't control. So, top producer tip, if you need 2 listings or 2 sales in January, you need to get them prepared now, which means you need to go into the new year with a couple of listings ready to be listed, with a couple of buyers that are going to buy, and hopefully you're going to carry a couple of pendings in. So that number is going to vary depending on your goal, but start the year strong. And the only way to do that is based on what you're going to do the next 2 months. Now, here's a question, and you don't have to answer this out loud, but I want you to think about this. When you are working, are you disguising real work with bogus activity? I call it playing real estate. You know what that is, guys? That's where you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to work. I'm going to work today. I'm going to work all week long." But instead of doing something productive, you are shuffling files, checking emails, not doing anything to really move your business forward. But it makes us feel good, doesn't it? It makes us feel good that we're actually doing something. So don't kid yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Determine how many hours each day or each week that you're actually going to be talking to people about real estate. That's the kind of commitment we need over the next couple of months. Now let's do the honesty test. I'm big on honesty. Are you as good as you think you are? Let that sink in for a second. This year, have you been following your schedule or have you made a lot of excuses? Or did you put in the amount of time that was necessary in 2025 for you to hit your goal? Are you closing when you're doing your lead follow-up? Are you pre-qualifying? If there's any doubt in any of these questions, it could cost you probably 5 transactions next year. So do the math on that. If you've got an average commission of $8,000, and because you haven't been honest with yourself, it's cost you $40,000, $50,000 before you know it. So this is a good time to really look at your habits and your skills and where or how you're lying to yourself. Next, I wrote down, let's fight complacency. Complacency kills growth. Now, I'm hoping that everyone on this call is involved in some type of lead gen. And we know there's different types. We know that some of us are doing mailers and emailers. Hopefully, we're actually calling people, that we're calling our database or our farm, that we are doing just listed and just sold, maybe calling for sale by owners and expireds. If you are already a strong prospector, good for you. That puts you light years ahead of everybody else. But why don't you extend what you're doing right now? Maybe you should call it in the evenings. Got a lot of coaching clients right now that are trading off their normal, 9 to 12 prospecting time, and they're calling in the evenings or on Saturdays, and Sundays have been very fruitful. Now, I know some of you are thinking, oh my God, I would never call on a Sunday. You know who calls on Sundays? The agents that want to hit their goal. See, people that hit their goal are doing things that others find uncomfortable. So fight that complacency, get out of your comfort zone. Next, I wrote down practice. If you're not role playing, and you're not working on getting better, how are you going to get your business to grow? I'll tell you a painful thing I did this morning, Ryan. I have a team, guys, and we have a Monday morning meeting, and I did a role play with them just out of the blue. Said, "Hey, let's role play this scenario." Oh my gosh, did I? I was shocked, happy because about half of them were really good, but the other half really need to practice. We need to know what to say in every situation. I mean, sales isn't about some high pressure technique. It's learning how to ask great questions. So if you're not good at that, get a role play partner and let's practice talking to each other and practice those prospecting scripts. Next, I wrote down focus on the yes, not a no. And here's what I mean by that. You are probably already getting this objection. Oh, we're going to wait till after the holidays. Anybody getting that? But 95% of the people that we talk to, oh, we're going to wait until spring. Guys, that is not a no, that's a not now. So how can you turn that into a listing or a sale? So what I suggest you do, if they're telling you they're going to do something after the first of the year, get a yes and say, let me come out and take a look at your property so we can get it ready for next year. Let me come out and take a look at your property and let's beat the competition because so many people are taking their homes off the market. There could be a huge financial advantage for you. See, too many times we take that no, oh, I'm not going to do anything for a few months, and we accept it as at face value and then we just say, have a nice day, and you're losing tens of thousands of dollars because you're doing that. Last thing I wrote down is track your numbers, track and your performance. You should be tracking how many listings, how many sales, hopefully how many contacts, but are you rating yourself? Do you know what your conversion rate is? If you go on 10 listing appointments, how many listings do you take? If you are prospecting every day, how many people do you need to talk to before you get an appointment? Really look at those ratios because if you're pretty good, how you get great is by making teeny tiny adjustments. They're not huge adjustments. They're just little bitty things that you can do now and into 2026 that are going to pay off big when you really start to execute that business plan for 2026. Evaluate and adjust. If you keep doing the same things, you'll get the same results. There's an old saying that is, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. Have you guys ever heard that before? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So if year after year after year, you're doing about the same amount of transactions, the issue is not the market, the issue is you. Now think about this. If you've been in business for, say, 10 years and you sold a lot more real estate during the COVID boom or the post-COVID boom, what does that say about you? What that says is that it was the market that took your business up, but you were doing about the same. Now, the problem with that is when the market adjusts or goes down, what happens to your business? So this is the time to evaluate the things that you need to change in your business. What adjustments could add 20 transactions? What adjustments could add 5 transactions? What admin systems need to evolve? Uh, I didn't put marketing down, but what should you be doing in marketing for next year? Do you understand how powerful social media is? Are you using the transaction coordinators and your MAs in the office properly? What's stopping you from growing your business based on your skill level? Now, here's a cool one. What do you need to add or what do you need to remove? That's obvious. Are there things that you're doing that aren't paying off? Well, you won't know that unless you take a hard look at your business right now. Go back and identify where all the business came from. If your business isn't growing, nothing's going to change until something changes. Now, if you've identified that you've got some issues and some bottlenecks, how much business is that costing you? Now, I put 25 transactions, but even if your average commission is 8,000 and it costs you 10 deals a year, that's $80,000. If it costs you 4 deals a year, that's $40,000. This is a business that you're going to get out of it what you put into it. But if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. Stop avoiding what matters. Avoidance equals lost opportunity, which equals lost income. Here's some more of that be honest stuff, guys. What part of the business do you dislike the most? Now, for some of you, it's the paperwork. Okay, I'm not a paperwork person, so I completely understand that. But if you dislike the paperwork, what can you do differently that's going to make a huge difference? Take a look at this whole year and think about the things that were frustrating you. Do you dislike the confrontation of the business? Well, that's a skill issue. We can teach you, Ryan and Kelly and PJ can teach you how to overcome that fear of confrontation. Because what it really comes down to, guys, if you know what to say and you approach it from the right mindset and you're constantly working on growing your business, the confrontation becomes easy because you know what confrontation is? It's nothing but asking questions. Now, I put, do you avoid prospecting or do you avoid the scripts? Probably the most common, common thing we see because we want to go for the easy thing, right? Oh, maybe I'll put an ad on social media and that'll get me some business. It might. Maybe I can, do a billboard and someone's going to call me. They might. That's all great. Maybe I can send a bunch of mailers out. Wow, that might bring you business. But you know how we do business today? We do it face to face or voice to voice. Where everybody's talking about AI right now, and it is a very viable thing that we're going to be dealing with, and you should be using it to your benefit. But here's the thing. We can have all the technology and all the AI and all the social media in the world, all we can buy leads and we can do so many tools that are out there. But we are in the people business. And prospecting is just talking to people. So if you are avoiding that on a consistent basis, talk to your owners, talk to your managers, talk to Jody, and we can help you overcome this kind of elephant in the room. Because the thing that you're avoiding, believe it or not, that's probably the thing that's holding you back. And then the last thing is what's keeping you from leveling up. And that could be a big discussion, a big part of not doing more business year after year is that we're really just not willing to make any changes. And that comes from not really wanting the goal. So as you prepare to write the business plan here in a couple of weeks, I need you to really look at what what do I want? And what is it that's been holding me back? What are those voices inside of my head that is telling me that it's okay not to do more business and to make more money? Once you accomplish that, everything changes. I wrote down growth lives on the other side of discomfort. So the agents that hit their goals every year, they have learned that to grow, you have to try things that you're not 100% comfortable with. Because it's in that discomfort, that's where the change begins. That's where the magic happens. So if you have any of the issues that we've just discussed, stop avoiding them and embrace it. Embrace the fact that if you feel uncomfortable, that means that that golden ticket is on the other side. But boy, as you look at this year, you've got to really go back and say, okay, where was my head? How was I responding to things? How was I approaching things? And whatever it is that's making you feel the most uncomfortable, as I said a few minutes ago, that's what we need to be focusing on right now so that we can make those changes for 2026. Accountability and confrontation. It's interesting. Everyone says that they want accountability until you give it to them. And as soon as we start holding you accountable, oh my gosh, that's where your independent contractor status comes in, or the varying excuses that you have for why you didn't do what you said that you were going to do. So accountability and confrontation go hand in hand. But what's interesting is that confrontation doesn't have to be nasty. Getting someone that's going to confront you, that's someone that cares about what you're doing. And it's really just to point out that you didn't keep the promise to yourself. So accountability and confrontation is really critical. So ask yourself, were you accountable this year? Now, it could be argued if you didn't hit your goal, that means you probably weren't accountable to yourself. Because if you were, you would have hit the goal. I love this. When your bank account is your only confrontation tool, it's too late. See, too many times we look at that bank account and we go, "Oh my God, I don't have enough business. What's going on here?" So that's the bank account is the end result of great accountability or poor accountability. So here's a question. Who's holding you accountable? Are you holding yourself accountable? That generally doesn't work. Find an accountability partner. Talk to your spouse. Get a coach. Tell someone what you want to do. Share your goals with them, and then they can help you achieve the goal if you can accept the accountability in a positive way. Who challenges you in your comfort zone? Now, we all like to live in this little cocoon where we feel good, but remember what we said before? If we're not feeling uncomfortable, we're not growing. So who are you hanging around that is challenging you there? Who's pushing you? And I'll say this, and this is a shameless plug for coaching, but everybody needs a coach because a coach is going to tell you the truth, not what you want to hear. I mean, your friends might not, your sister or your brother may not, but a coach or a mentor, they are going to tell you what you need to do every step of the way. They're going to tell you the truth even when it hurts. In most cases, we can't grow unless someone is pushing us because then we just hide and then nothing happens. Nothing happens unless something happens. Become market proof. If the market remains the same in 2026, will your business still grow? And I'll tell you what I've seen that's been interesting. I've been doing this for a long time, and agents that were not what I would call diverse in how they develop business, they are uh, they are subject to a tough time when the market goes up or the market goes down. So if you are a prospector, let's say you only do expireds. Well, if the market got really, really great, expireds go away. If remember during COVID, uh, where some of you still have very few expireds, no expireds, no for sale by owners. That's when your database became really, really important because the market changed. Well, I think in 2026, based on everything that I'm reading, it looks like we're going to get another rate decrease here in the next 60 days. But next year, I think that it's probably going to remain about the same as it is this year. So as you look at 2025, if you've got plans to do more, good for you. But what do you need to do as you write that plan? What new sources are you willing to try? Or maybe you just need to get better at some of your existing sources. So go back and look at every single one of your listings and every one of your sales and source it. Let's see where the business came from and ask yourself, if that source vanished, what would you do? Now, there's different types of prospecting. There's passive and active prospecting. And all of these work. Passive prospecting is sending out mailers or doing email drip campaigns, posting on social media, uh, putting out a sign and sitting at an open house. That's passive because you can't predict the results necessarily. You're doing something and hoping that the consumer, the buyer, the seller are going to contact you. Active is when you are actively going out and getting the business. So one of the ways that we remain market proof is we focus most of our prospecting in the more active sources. And I think I've shared this with several of you before. Expireds and for sale by owners are the two most active sources that we have that you can go out and literally based on your actions, you can improve your business. Working internet leads or bot leads or pay-per-click leads, another good source because we know that they're ready to do something. They've said that they want to buy, and all we have to do is connect with them. Then you've got working your database. You've got just listed, just sold, farming, etc. Those are all active. The more people you talk to, we can predict what kind of business that you're going to get in return. Now, does the passive work? Yes. You can sit in open house every single week and you can pick up clients. And yes, there are things you can do to increase the traffic, but by and large, you are waiting for the people to walk in. So your prospecting should have a healthy blend of both, some passive and some active. So I wrote down build independence from the market, skill over circumstance. So the better you get at talking to people, the more structured you get, the higher your skill, you are literally becoming market proof. And that's what's sustainable over a long period of time. Define the extraordinary. Boy, what does extraordinary look like for you in 2026? And I'm going to deviate from this a little bit. We're saying how many listings taken, how many sold, how much income, etc. But what is it that you really want? Why, if you want to grow your business or you want to have a successful 2026, why do you want to do it? Now, I'm not talking about some ethereal, oh my gosh, I've just got to be excited about my why. This isn't something that's airy fairy. This is really about you getting connected to the reason that you're doing what you're doing. And it could be many, many things. It could be that Financially, you have a plan that you need the money for any number of reasons. Maybe you need the money just to support yourself, which is great. But beyond that, are you saving for retirement? Do you want to buy a new house, a new car? Are there vacations that you need to go, that you want to go on? Do you have kids that are going to college? What is it that you want to do or that you need to do that will get you to get up and do your job every single day? And maybe it's not about the money. Maybe it's that you want that recognition internally or externally, that you want to prove to yourself that you can do this. See, the reason that people don't hit their goals is because they don't want it bad enough. Because if you want something bad enough, the extraordinary comes. If you want something bad enough, you'll do whatever is necessary. Now, I'm going to give you guys a couple of other tips as you go into 2026 and you start your planning. Think about where you are financially right now. And for 2025, how many more deals do you need to do this year? Maybe it's one, maybe it's two, maybe it's 10. Uh, did you pay your taxes this year? Did you pay quarterlies? What do you think you're going to owe for quarterlies next year? I mean, don't give up on the year just because it's the end of October. Really do an analysis of where you are financially and where you're going to be financially next year and start planning for that today. So I wrote down 2026 success starts now, and it shows how you're going to finish the year. So for my coaching clients, we are literally looking at that first quarter and we are planning right now for the first quarter. And we're operating as if it is the first quarter of 2026. Now, here's the challenge. And here, this is your homework as you go into your business planning. Let's identify the blind spots. Take a hard look at your business and really figure out what's stopping you from having what you want. Stop avoiding the hard parts. What are the bottlenecks in your business? What stops you from doing more? What's stopping you internally from trying new things? Then let's practice. Let's get better at our skills. Let's get better at our time management. That's a skill as well. Uh, Commit daily and let's go into the new year with the mindset that the business plan isn't optional, that you've done the prep work going in to 2026 so that you can execute the business plan. And then the last slide is that's who I am, and you guys are all welcome to call me at any time. I'm always here for anybody at the company if you have a question. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing. We've got a little bit of time. Does anybody have any questions? No questions?
They always have questions.
I won't bite, I swear. So Ryan's like, yes, she does. Be careful. So from a kind of a mindset perspective right now, this is the time where this is, I did this presentation, but it's about reflection. This is about you guys really looking at things and saying, okay, year after year after year, I say I'm going to do X and I only do Y. Or I say I'm going to do, or I say do X, I only do H. And I said earlier, this is an industry that you can do whatever you want to do. You are not limited by how old you are. Are you your size, your race, your economic level? you're not limited by any of that. And so all these things that we tell ourselves, oh, well, gosh, I'm new to the business. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows if you're new to the business. Oh, I just moved here a couple of years ago. Nobody knows that. I don't know, but I don't know anyone in town. Then call people that do just listed, just sold. They don't know, they don't know anybody. So whatever those stories are that you're telling yourself, just kind of do that checkup from the neck up and try to figure out what's stopping you from doing what you say that you want to do. When and dealing with a lot of top agents and teams and brokerages, the people that are the most successful, and by the way, success is not defined by doing 100 transactions, guys. Success is defined by what it is that you say that you want to do. You're only competing with yourself. But those agents that are successful, they are connected to their goals. They know what they want to do, and they're willing to do whatever it takes. And every week they're looking at where they are in relationship to their goal. So you guys want one little tip before we sign off? I say this all the time, and those that I coach have heard this over and over and over again. But if you want to hit your goal for next year, you have to get connected to the goal. So what does that mean? That means that every day you need to know where you are in relationship to your goal. If your goal is to do two deals a month, two deals a month, and it is the 27th of the month, today's Monday. You wake up on Monday morning and you look at your calendar and you say, okay, I've taken one listing this month and I needed to take two, and it's the 27th. How many appointments do I have set for the week? Well, I've done. And I know, because remember, I track my numbers and I know what my ratios are. I know that to take one listing, I need to go on two appointments. So being connected means that I know those things, number one, but number two, I'm willing to get into action so that I'm going to meet the goal. So realistically, if I said to any of you, you absolutely positively had to take a listing this week or you were going to lose your license, could you do that? I
I'd
mean,
list Brian's house.
there you go. I was going to say you can list your own house, right? But the truth is, if you had to do it, you would do it. If you were working at a real job and your boss said, you have to make a sale this week or we're going to have to let you go. Could you do that? Yes, anyone could do it. Now, does that mean you have to work harder or work smarter or work longer? Maybe. But being connected means that you're willing to do whatever it takes. So if I needed two appointments today for this week, what would I be doing? I'd get on the phone and I would call absolutely every expired, every for sale by owner. I'd door knock around areas that I wanted. I would prospect all day long today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday till I got an appointment. Now, if I did that, could I set two appointments and take a listing?
Mhm. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so here's the question. Then why don't we? Why don't you?
You get caught up in daily life and you get focused on other things.
So, okay, thank you. Thank you, Olga. So here's what she just said was just a different version of what I said. She's the person that gets caught up in these other things is not connected to their goal, and they're prioritizing the activities in the wrong way.
Mm.
So we can say, well, I've got to do this, that, and the other. Well, okay, then figure out how to get it done. But if going on two appointments and taking one listing was that important, then that becomes the priority. But you know what we do? We deprioritize it. We say, oh, you know what? I'll catch up next month. Guys, it's this, you don't catch up. We never catch up. Okay, I think I'm really funny, and I have all these little things. I say this is one of them. You know what's the best way to not get behind? Don't get behind. That's the best way. Just don't do it. Just if whatever you need to do, just go do it and stop making decisions, making the wrong decisions because they're not excuses, guys. They're just decisions. If you hit your goal, it was a decision. If you don't hit your goal, it was a decision because you decided to do something else. You decided that you didn't really wasn't that important to you. You decided that working on your marketing plan was more important than going and finding that listing that week.
Mhm.
So the point here is this isn't to shame anybody. This is about us looking inward and really saying, okay, what what do I really want to do? What am I really willing to do so that I can hit my goal? And so if you'll think of when is the business planning? Is it next week or week after next, Kel?
Yep.
Week after next. So as you go into this, if you can prepare mentally before you get there, it's going to make it more easier and you have a better chance of hitting your goal because we are already in 2026. You just don't know it. Everything you do right now is determining your first quarter. You know how if you don't have a first quarter, a good first quarter, if you're not on track, guess what happens?
Mm.
You're not on track at mid-year. So you can't be on track at mid-year if you have a bad first quarter. So you know how you stop from having a bad first quarter? You do what you're supposed to do right now. So we're already in 2026. Any other questions? All right. Well,
This was very good, Cydney.
thank you. I appreciate that. I can't believe it was a year ago I was with your group. Crazy? That's
Mhm.
insane. We'll have to do that again because I enjoyed it very much. All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a great week and we'll talk to you guys soon. And Kelly and Ryan, I'll talk to you on Wednesday, if not sooner. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.